City of Forest Park City Council meeting number 1449. It is 7 p.m., February 17th. We're going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, starting with item number 1, which is roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Adams, Brown,
Here.
Clark. Here. Harrison.
Here.
Holt. Moore.
Here.
Sylvester.
Here.
All right. I need a motion to excuse Councilmember Adams and First Vice Mayor Holt.
I motion to excuse Councilmember Adams and First Vice Mayor Denise Holt.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Members are excused. Moving on to item number 2, which are the minutes. Has everyone received the minutes? Are there any changes or corrections to be made? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to item number 3, which is presentations. And we have a proclamation to recognize Black History Month. So we typically do this every year, but we have a proclamation here acknowledging that February is and will remain Black History Month in the city of Forest Park. And I'll just go ahead and read over a few of these. So whereas African American History Month is celebrated annually throughout the United States during the month of February, honoring the invaluable contributions of African Americans to our society, and whereas the origins of African American History Month can be traced back to 1893, when Colored American Day was observed at the Chicago World's Fair. In 1926, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, widely regarded as the father of Black studies, established Negro History Week in February. This grew into Black History Month in 1965 with guidance from Robert Starling Pritchard, a celebrated pianist and composer. And whereas the commitment of nonprofit organizations, including those within Forest Park, their leaders, members, and supporters, in organizing events throughout the community to celebrate African American history and culture during African American History Month deserves recognition and praise. And whereas recognizing the significant contributions of African American scholars, entrepreneurs, and institutions serves as an inspiration to the entire community, fostering a greater understanding and appreciation of our shared history. And whereas African American residents of Forest Park have made lasting and meaningful contributions to our community, to the state of Ohio, and to our nation. Now, therefore, I, Aaron Brown, Mayor of the City of Forest Park, do hereby proclaim February as African American History Month. So, go ahead and clap that up. And again, this is the proclamation recognizing that. With that said, I do want to acknowledge that Councilmember Adams has arrived. So, if the clerk can just note that on the agenda, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 4, which are communications from the public. So this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. So when recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription, and comments are limited to 5 minutes. So is there any member of the audience who would like to address council? All right,
I do have a public comment to make.
Yeah, do you want to go to the podium or you want to stay at the dais?
Oh, man, I'll just stay right here.
Okay.
It looks like I'm standing anyway. So along the same veins of celebrating our rich Black history, we've got our 4th annual Majestic Black Business Awards that is coming up. The Business Awards brunch will be on Saturday, March 1st from 12 o'clock to 2 p.m. at Quinn Chapel AME. This is the community-led organization Minority Community Business Initiative, and we've got 7 businesses that have been recognized and are being nominated as we speak, voted for by the community. Those businesses are Angels Garden Youth Services, Dream Ministries, French Toast Heaven, Kingdom Family Dentistry, Peekaboo Learning Academy, the Jazz Spoon, and This Is Not a Drill. So we are very appreciative for the work that these businesses are doing and employing folks, and even the community give back.
All right. Thank you for that, Councilmember Clark.
You're welcome.
And you said that's going to be at Quinn Chapel?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On Saturday.
All right, and this is a private citizen-led initiative, correct? Because, yeah, a few of those businesses aren't in the city of Forest Park, but
Yeah, but
it is good to recognize a few members. I know a few
right,
people
Fresh
are
Toast is next door.
residents of the community, but their business may not be located, so
Right.
thank you for that. Moving on to item number 5, which is reports from council members. We're going to start with Councilmember Adams.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mayor. Hello, everyone. I had the honor of attending the Hamilton County Workforce Development awards breakfast at our Forest Park Library. They went on and on about how beautiful the library was and what an amazing job council did. And I had to tell them that I would be remiss if a lot of that didn't come from our very own Councilwoman, Dr. Moore. So I made sure to acknowledge the hard work she did with that. But the breakfast was phenomenal, and it was just nice to see several different social service organizations come to Forest Park and take advantage of the facilities that we had. In addition to our beautification committee will be meeting this coming Wednesday. Yeah, we'll be meeting on Wednesday, and we'll also, in our next council meeting, be presenting our holiday spirit contest winners, presenting them with their awards for that. And then we do have Tree City coming up, and that is another meeting where we've also, this coming Wednesday, we've also asked the mayor and or the city manager if they'd like to attend, as we will have a representative from Tree City there, if there are any questions or whatnot that need to be asked. Other than that, Mayor, I don't have any other announcements or reports.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Adams. Moving on to Councilmember Clark.
I do have a,
Oh, do you have work session items?
yes, sir, I'm sorry, you normally ask, so I
Yeah,
apologize.
Yeah, you're good, right?
I do. I like for us to continue to explore opportunities where we can better support our police department, so that we are able to continue our efforts to attract the best. And then in that manner of looking at salary and other benefits or whatnot, just being able to have some additional conversations around that, if we could continue that conversation. And then this one is a little hard, but I'm going to go ahead and mention and ask for it, and that is for us to have some discussion about compensation for council, for the amount of work that we're doing and the time that we're putting in. We do receive a very small stipend for that, and not that we are looking to retire or anything, but just looking at how do we, because a lot of the stuff that we do, it comes out of our own pockets. So looking at ways that we can try to bridge a little bit of that gap and leverage some of that, if there's opportunity for us to, as council collectively, to see about some form of increase that we could possibly acquire so that we can do more in the community.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Adams. Moving on to Councilmember Clark.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening to everyone. I don't have a report. Our environmental has not met yet, but I'll be sure to let everyone know when we do. In terms of the work session, though, I do have something I'd like to proceed, have this as my opening, though, as I'm leading up and asking for this to be included on our work session. In the past several months, this body has heard multiple presentations. We've heard these presentations on an issue that has infected our communities, state, and our nation. And in the past couple weeks, I've worked directly with some of these most vulnerable demographics. I'm talking about children that, through no fault of their own, have and are experiencing trauma to a degree and intensity that we see in real-life stories of our soldiers, and some smaller yet serious situations that alter their trajectory forever. I'm talking about the traumas that inhabit homes where children reside, and that's if they're fortunate enough to have a safe place that they can call home. When I presented information during a work session on the staggering economic impact of childhood trauma, that is the untreated cost of the adverse Childhood Experiences, or ACEs, a 2023 study estimated the social cost to be around $14 trillion. $14 trillion. Costs from healthcare expenses, lost productivity, criminal justice interactions, education disruptions, and the list goes on. Now, unfortunately, or rather recently, the entire country bared witness to fires that ravaged Los Angeles, and with tears in our eyes, we sent prayers and could only imagine those people's losses and heartfelt concerns. Undoubtedly, we are preparing and will support the rebuilding of entire communities in that area. The economic loss and damages are expected to be between $135 to $150 billion. I want us to seriously consider the aid that as a country we will lend to those areas, aid that is vital and expected and needed, and then consider what we can do to bring about awareness, resources, and support for our Black and brown children experiencing trauma. When it comes to our Black boys and girls, they too are at a tremendous loss. Record absenteeism, criminal justice interactions, abuse, poverty, homelessness, food scarcity, and other issues are plaguing our communities. As we learned from the Childhood Trauma Emergency Group, the effects of adverse childhood experiences are manifesting itself where our children are displaying anger, disrespect, hopelessness, anxiety, extreme fears, exhaustion in school, violence, drug abuse, and so on. Neither Hamilton County nor our city is isolated. It exists here, throughout our county, and beyond, with supporters like Mental Health America, Tri-State Trauma Network, the American Pediatric Association, and our city of Cincinnati neighbors. It is of necessity that this body make a historic decision to declare an emergency on childhood trauma, with federal government money sweeping changes or making sweeping changes that in many ways will have an adverse effect on public school education, jobs, mental health treatment. It is imperative that we advocate on behalf of our children in this legislative action. By declaring a state of emergency, we are signaling and demanding awareness to be given to this $14 trillion problem. Is Forest Park overburdened by trauma in our youth? No, it's not, but it does exist, and as public servants, I believe it's our duty to advocate and wield government resources to help those that need and can't get it any other way. Southwest Ohio needs resources, response plans, expanded supports, and services that this city should lead the way on. With that, I'm asking for us to begin drafting that resolution at our next work session.
Okay, for clarity, you want to have another discussion on the presentation from the organization that came prior?
I don't want to have another discussion. We've had plenty of discussions. I want to begin drafting resolution for declaring that emergency trauma.
Well, in order to draft a resolution, we would have to make a decision as a body. We have to come to consensus, and by your own statement that you just made, that childhood trauma does not exist or is not overburdening the city of Forest Park. So for us to make a resolution
We can
acknowledging
have a-
that, wait 1 second, for us to make a resolution acknowledging that, would still have to come back to work session for us to make the decision on whether the majority of council wants to draft a resolution on that. So I was just asking
We-
for clarity. Do you want to have
Absolutely.
another
So we'll
discussion?
have the conversation will not be another presentation. The conversation will be very much centered on how we want to move in that direction and how it affects us
Right.
and what that can look like.
Right, which
out
is
of
a
this body.
discussion. So we-
It's going to be a very targeted discussion on
Okay.
that and being action-oriented,
Okay,
not just
so-
talking.
Thank you. So I'll add another childhood trauma discussion to the work session to determine how we'll move or make a decision on that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Clark. Moving on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I really don't have much to say as far as any new work session items or anything like that, but I would like to give kudos to our Public Works. I know we had surprise snow yesterday.
Yeah.
And if you're going out and about, going to the store, going to church or whatnot, it was pretty slick. But our City Works, they're out there getting the job done. Seeing the police and our first responders out there helping citizens out of ditches and whatnot. So I'd also like to shout out our police and fire as well. And also, too, just had the opportunity to see some new firefighters or fire promotions this evening, right? And congratulations to those who got promoted and sworn in tonight and their families for serving the city of Forest Park. So I just wanted to say that once again, just thanks to our Public Works for just doing what they do in such short notice because I didn't anticipate the snow this yesterday.
Yeah.
Right.
Saturday night, there was a lot of rain. I thought dark was coming in, but when I woke up Sunday morning, it's okay. So anyway, thank you. Like I said before, I do not have anything for work session, and you and I did talk, Mr. Mayor, about doing a proclamation or not proclamation, but a letter. Recognition for one of our residents who's really donated over 50 years of service to our school, Winwood City Schools. So just make sure we recognize that individual for his contributions.
Okay. Good. All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Harrison. And then you and I will get together with the clerk.
Okay.
Drafting up that letter. All right. Moving on to Second Vice Mayor Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to say the Quality of Life met February the 11th, and this was their planning session, and so our commissioners had some amazing ideas that they want to implement in 2025 and 2026. Our next meeting is February 25th at 6:30 here, and we're also looking for additional members, so if you're interested in joining the Quality of Life, please go to our website and fill out an application.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Moore. And do you have any
That's my
work
report.
session items?
No, I did not.
All right. Then moving on to Councilmember Sylvester.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, and to the Forest Park residents. Just to speak on, we had our meeting last week with our Park and Rec Commission, and one of the things I want to get a follow-up with, there was discussion that the Superintendent Denny with Winwoods is kind of repositioning himself, and there's another representative that will be following up to take place in the communication to the city in regards to parallel with the district. And there was comments about activity of sports that may intertwine with the level of participants, the age, that may affect the programs that we established through the city. So we want to try to see if we can get some clarity on who may be representing in that area place of Superintendent Denny, so we can kind of get some clarity and find out where the continuity can be met, and that we both parties can work together with clarity and understanding to where we know at what level that it may affect some of our sports programs. But I'm looking at getting more details on that, so we just wanted to bring that to the body.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. And do you have any work session items to add?
No, sir.
All right. All right, that concludes item number 5, which is reports from council members. Moving on to item number 6, which is the mayor's report. I will be brief. We did just swear in 3 firefighters, adding them to the force. So we do congratulate them and welcome them joining the beautiful city of Forest Park. It was a beautiful ceremony. There was cake. The officers were very, very happy, and their families. It was really a good sight to see. So again, keep up the good work, Don, making sure the recruitment is continuing to happen. And then Councilmember Harrison once again gave a beautiful invocation. So thank you for that. And yes, to acknowledge the wonderful job that our public works crew does on the main streets. Few residents did send me messages saying that the roads were not bad, even though the snow kind of appeared overnight. It was raining very heavily, but the roads were cleared very quickly. So I think that's just a testament to the professionalism and the efficiency that the city operates in. And I just do want to remind and acknowledge them. So thank you for bringing that up, Councilmember Harrison. With that, I do not have any work session items to add, so that concludes my report. We're going to move on to item number 7, the city manager's report. Mr. Don Jones.
Yeah, I'll make it pretty quick as well. We are still in negotiations with regarding the mall. And so coming up in March 3rd, we'll have our final public hearing on it before the meeting, and then we would ask that we take action on it at that meeting, so the general public knows that on March 3rd, before the council meeting, there will be a public hearing that they can come and express their opinions on the plans for, or the rezoning for the 55 acres or the back portion, what we call the back portion of the mall, Forest Fair Mall. So again, just want to remind everybody about that. We did receive some correspondence from the city of Springdale and from their mayor and from their mayor with regards to some of the concerns that their residents may have with regards to adding screening and mounding and potentially, locations of the buildings, and we forwarded that to council. And again, there'll be an opportunity to address that either at our next work session or at the council meeting after the public hearing. So I just want to let all the public out there, because we got a lot of questions as to, when will we be talking about this again in public, and that's the date. Also, I just want to let everyone know that speaking of Black History Month, we had a great presentation today at our senior center. It was packed, and I thank everyone who came to that and everyone who had a hand in putting that on. It was a child's play, so it's a great opportunity to something different in the city, and it was a great opportunity for everyone to get together and celebrate Black History Month in the city of Forest Park. Other than that, I'm here for any questions and be glad to answer any.
All right. Any questions for the city manager? All right, hearing none. Thank you for that, Don. We're going to move on to item number 8, which is our other reports. We're going to hear from our law director first, Mr. John Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since the last meeting, I've been working on issues involving enforcement of our property code and specifically removal of junk vehicles. I also reviewed a proposed contract proposal for services from Highland. They are our insurance broker. And I also reviewed and approved a clinical field preceptorship that our fire department engages with the Cincinnati Fire Department to do. And then I also reviewed for Ms. Tomlinson some issues regarding our rental registration program, suggested some changes in the letters that will be going out in March to those who own buildings and rent buildings out to residents. That is in my report. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right.
Mr. Wyckoff, with that, the adjustments that are being made to the letter, you said going out to buildings, does that include residential property as well, or just commercial buildings?
No, that is the residential rental,
Okay,
yes.
thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Moving on to our other report from our clerk of council, Ms. Takia Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance number 01-2025, as well as resolution number 04-2025, was posted as required, and that concludes my report.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. Moving on to item number 9, which is unfinished business and general orders, and there are none, so we're going to go right on along to item number 10, which is new business, and I need a motion to suspend.
Motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read for the first time by title only ordinance number 1-2025.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Just that this ordinance was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Thank you for that, Councilmember Clark.
You're welcome.
Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, motion to suspend passes. Will the clerk please read ordinance number 01-2025 by title only?
Ordinance number 01-2025, an ordinance approving a zone change from PB Planned Business to IP Industrial Park for 49.927 acres of land located north of I-275, east of Winton Road, and bounded by the city limits of Springdale to the east and Fairfield to the north.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. And this is our first reading, so we will not be voting on this tonight. All right, so moving on, I need another motion to suspend.
Motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read for the first time by title only resolution number 4-2025.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
This resolution was posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
All right, thank you. Will the clerk please read resolution number 04-2025 by title only?
On a motion for suspend.
Oh, motion to suspend, I'm sorry. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt, I'm sorry, Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
All right, motion to suspend passes. Now will the clerk please read resolution number 04-2025?
Resolution number 04-2025, a resolution requesting the Hamilton County Auditor place special assessments against various properties for costs and penalties related to grass cutting and property maintenance.
All right. I move to adopt resolution number 04-2025.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. This is a housekeeping item. This is the assessments that we pass frequently throughout the year. So with that, I would urge adoption. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, resolution number 04-2025 passes. All right, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion to accept the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No further discussion.
All right, hearing no further discussion, all those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. And I need a motion to convene an executive session. So I'll move to convene an executive session to discuss ongoing collective bargaining contracts.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. We need to go into executive session to discuss a pending contract with the city manager. So this can also be a voice vote. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Again, this executive session, so no official vote or official business will be taken or done during the executive session. And once we reconvene, we will be ending council. So would everybody like to go upstairs or?